As you can imagine, when the Raiders took the field, there was no shortage of excitement on the sideline. Coach Ellis was challenging the secondary to force a turnover, and as you can see on the first possession, they did just that. Last time out, 3 separate Blue Raiders were able to score in double figures: Centrone, Marcos Knight, and JT Sultan. When I spoke with Coach Davis about that, he reminded me that that effort has got to happen here tonight in order to beat Arkansas State. The Middle Tennessee-Troy rivalry is known as the Battle of the Palladium. The Palladium is actually a wooden trophy that in Greek mythology is said to have fallen from the heavens and put inside the walls of Troy. Hot shooter, at least that's what they call Ray Centrone. Heading into this season, he was listed as number 39 on CBS.com's top 50 shooters. Just remind you guys that just a year ago, this guy was playing on a high school football field. With the unfortunate injury to Benny Cunningham, he's now worked his way into a starting role. Middle Tennessee is currently off to its best start since 2009 with a 9-2 record. The Blue Raiders also have tied their longest winning streak since 2008 at 7 games. If there's one team on fire right now in sports, it's the Atlanta Braves. Their 11-1 record is good for best in the majors, and the Upton brothers are swinging for the fences.
Lined up the middle.
Chris Johnson at the plate in the third, and he laces a base hit single up the middle that brings 3 across the plate for the early lead. Just 2 innings later, it's Jay up at the plate, and he's going to send a bomb opposite field for the solo shot, and it just gets worse for the Nationals from there. That's his 7th of this 2013 season and his 11th RBI in just 12 games. Same inning and 4 batters later, Andrelton Simmons getting in on the action with this 3-run blast in the Nats pen. Simmons has struggled early, but more than made up for it on this day, and that makes it 6-0 in just the 3rd inning. Gonzalez not happy on the mound. Paul Maholm ends his day on the rubber with this long fly ball to right field, but Johnson is there to bail him out with the snag at the wall, and the Braves finish the sweep of the Nats and gear up for the Royals, who come to town Tuesday night. The Middle Tennessee football team geared up for its 2nd scrimmage of the spring in preparation for this weekend's blue and white game. The Blue Raiders went full steam ahead Saturday, going for just over 2 hours inside Floyd Stadium in perfect conditions. The defense had 2 big stops early, but the offense would settle in and make it a long afternoon for the secondary. Running back William Pratcher takes this screen pass from quarterback Logan Kilgore and races 35 yards down the sideline for a huge gain. A tackle by the corner saves a touchdown. The surprise of the day was backup QB Austin Grammer, who completes this pass to Terry Pettis, who gets a foot down inbounds. On the next play, Grammer finds wide receiver Chris Perkins over the middle, and Perkins outruns the defense for this monster touchdown run. Grammer would go on to finish with 280 passing yards, a career high for the young freshman. The Middle Tennessee baseball team is set to host the University of Tennessee tonight at Reese Smith Jr. Field at 6 p.m. The Blue Raiders currently hold a 3-game winning streak over the Vols and look to make it 4 in front of the home crowd. Just a few hours south in Atlanta, the Final Four was underway this weekend, with the nation's best trying to make it to the finals. And Kevin Ware was on hand to watch his Cardinals try and defeat Wichita State. The Shockers, a surprise in the tournament, gave Louisville their best and went into halftime leading by 1. And their fans were loving the action. A strong second half by the Cardinals and some serious 3-pointers gave Louisville the 72-68 victory. Kevin Ware and his father shared a special moment on the court after the game. For the night game, it was Michigan and Syracuse, 2 powerhouses in this year's tournament. The Big Blue had the lead early and at the half, staying in control for most of the game. Syracuse made a strong push late in the game, bringing it within 4 with under a minute to play. However, on this night, Michigan would take the win, 61-56, and advance to the finals on Monday night. Tim Hardaway Jr. led Michigan with 12 points. Bombs away should be the slogan for this one last night. MT crushed 4 home runs that were hit by just 2 different players, and it all started in the 1st inning. It was a beautiful evening in Knoxville, Tennessee on Tuesday with perfect baseball conditions. Middle Tennessee's Trent Miller started the charge with this first pitch bomb over the left field wall. It became the theme of the night for MT.
I'd say being patient, letting the ball get real deep to see how, trying to drive it the other way. Obviously, they were both pole home runs.
Just a few innings later, the first baseman saw another pitch he liked and took this one for a ride as well. One powerful swing of the bat, and not only did the fans never have a chance to catch it, but this brought 2 more runs across.
I was sitting fastball, and they threw 2 hanging curveballs, and I was reacting from fastball, and my hands kept going. We've been working on loosening the hands up, staying through the middle of the field, and if you catch them out in front and you're thinking through the middle, you have a better chance.
Right fielder Jake Ellison decided he wanted in on the fun and bombed this one into the next county. Some extra work during the week prepared him for this success.
I've been working to get my foot down, and once you get your foot down, you can do a lot of things. Sit back, hit the ball
however you want to.
The 2-run home run became a theme, and 3 innings later, Ellison sent yet another one out of the park. Ellison says the Blue Raiders needed this effort heading into the weekend.
It's huge. It's a big momentum change for us. I mean, we have to have these wins going into the weekend, get us going, get us started, and hopefully get 3 wins this weekend.
Middle Tennessee would go on to defeat their rivals 7-6 after this pop fly to center field. For the Vols, the night of the home run finally came to an end. Middle Tennessee seems to be warming up at the right time as the conference tournament is just 2 weeks away. Back to you, Ed. Hey everybody, welcome into GoBlueRaiders.com and GoBlueRaiders.tv. I'm Chris Burnette. I'm joined by head football coach Rick Stockstill. National Signing Day. Coach, essentially this is basically Christmas morning for a lot of college football programs. Your overall thoughts on how today's gone?
I'm really pleased with it. I thought our coaches, our staff, our players, everybody did a great job in this recruiting process. So I'm really pleased with it. Everybody knows recruiting is the lifeblood of any program, and you've got to be able to, have some consistency in bringing in good players and quality people, and I think this class is that.
Coach, you guys were able to go in and pull, I believe, 10 players out of the state of Georgia. What did you see there, and what needs are you going to be able to fill from those players?
Well, I think the big thing, Chris, is, we're going to start in Tennessee. That's where we're always going to start our recruiting. If we can't fill our needs here, then we'll go elsewhere. But Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, and now a little bit of Alabama are primary states that we recruit. Georgia it's close in proximity. We can get kids from Atlanta can get here in 3 hours. So I think we signed some really good players out of Georgia. I think some of them will have a chance to have a huge impact on our team next year.
2 of them that come to mind right away, Kamani Thomas and Jamal Jones, and these are 2 guys that both came from Norcross High School. I believe they finished 3rd in the nation last year. How important is it in the recruiting process to go after guys that come from winning programs?
I think it's important. Kamani came from East Paulding, and Sean Akins came from there at Norcross with him, with Jamal. But like I said earlier today, that you like to recruit guys that are used to winning, that expect to win, that they understand how hard you have to work to compete and play at this level and be successful both on the field and in the classroom. So, you'd like to, it doesn't always, there's good players at schools that don't win all the time also, but, you like to get guys that are used to winning, and most of this class are guys that have won and won at a high level.
Once all the letters had come in earlier, all the T's had been crossed, I actually asked somebody to show me another school in the country that was actually able to get every guy they were after. Is that a direct reflection on your staff and the job they were able to do on the road?
Well, like I said, I think our staff did a great job, and we didn't get everybody that we were after. On signing day, I always say, when they ask you, did you get everybody, you wanted, everybody we got, we wanted. If we didn't get them, we didn't want them. So, but, you're always going to have some guys that you want that you don't get, and we had that. But like I said, I thought our staff did a phenomenal job. They were relentless. They just did a great job of building relationships, not only with the high school coaches, but with the recruits, the student athlete, their families. And in recruiting, you've got to work hard, you've got to be relentless, and you've got to have a trust factor. You've got to build trust. And it's a two-way street. They've got to trust us in what we're telling them, and we have to trust them in what they're telling us. And so I think that goes a long way in building relationships. And again, our staff did that.
Now that signing day is complete, moving forward this offseason, what's next for the Blue Raiders? Mat drills into spring practice?
Yeah, we'll finish up lifting weights the rest of this week. Next week they'll lift, and then that following week we'll start our mat drills. We'll start doing that. We'll start, tweaking our offense and defensive packages, to fit our personnel. Then spring practice starts Saturday, March 23rd. So not a whole lot of rest between now and then, but we've got a good plan. We're organized at what we're doing and where we're going.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining me. Congratulations on a great class. For everybody back home, spring practice coming up, moving into the summer, and then we'll gear up for the 2013 football season.